You ever wonder why some people just get what they want? They're not smarter than you, not richer, not more talented, but somehow they're always 3 steps ahead. They see opportunities you miss. They make moves you don't understand. And by the time you figure out what happened, they're already gone, sitting at the top while everyone else is still climbing. So, what do they know that you don't? Here's the truth. The difference between the weak and the powerful is not strength, money, or talent. It's knowledge. Knowledge of how power actually works. See, most people think success comes from being good, from being kind, from working hard and waiting for someone to notice. And that's exactly why most people never win. Because while you're out here playing fair, there's someone else playing a completely different game. A game with rules you've never been taught. Power begins in the mind. Geniuses understand something most people miss their entire lives. They understand that the world runs on invisible rules, the laws of power. These aren't the rules you learn in textbooks. These are the rules that have controlled human behavior for thousands of years. The rules that separate those who lead from those who follow, those who take from those who give, those who win from those who lose. Most people play fair. Geniuses don't. They play strategically. Now, I'm not saying you should become heartless, but I'm saying this. If you don't understand these laws, someone else will use them on you, and you won't even know it's happening. You'll think it's bad timing, bad luck, but really you just didn't see the game being played. 500 years ago, Machiavelli cracked the code. He studied how power moves, how people win, how the strong stay strong and the weak stay weak. And he discovered something terrifying. Power isn't random. It follows patterns, laws. And the people who know these laws control everything. Today, I'm breaking down the 8 darkest laws geniuses use to outsmart everyone. These aren't motivational ideas. These are cold, calculated strategies that have been used for centuries by people who refuse to lose. Once you see them, you can't unsee them. Once you know them, everything changes. Watch every second of this, because missing even one of these laws could be the difference between staying stuck and finally breaking through. Let me ask you something. Who do you respect more? The person who's always around, or the person who shows up when it matters? The one who's constantly texting, constantly available, constantly there, or the one who disappears and leaves you wondering? Here's a law most people learn too late. Constant presence kills respect. Think about it. When you're always available, what happens? People stop appreciating you. They stop valuing your time. They start taking you for granted. You become background noise, ordinary, forgettable. But the moment you pull back, everything shifts. Suddenly, people wonder where you went. They start asking questions. They realize what they had when you were around. Your value skyrockets, not because you changed, but because you became scarce. This is how geniuses operate. They understand that availability destroys power. The more present you are, the less significant you become. It's not about being rude or playing games. It's about understanding a fundamental truth. Scarcity creates value. When you're always there, your presence becomes cheap. When you disappear, your presence becomes priceless. Look at the people who command real respect. They're not the ones responding instantly to every message. They're not the ones showing up to everything. They're selective, strategic. They show up when it counts, and they vanish when it doesn't. Machiavelli once said, "Make yourself necessary, but never common." Distance makes your presence powerful. When you step back, people start to miss you. They start to realize your worth. And when you return, they pay attention in ways they never did before. What happens when you master this law? People stop treating you like an option. They stop assuming you'll always be there. They start reaching out first. They start valuing your time. They start competing for your attention instead of expecting it. But most people do the opposite. They chase. They overextend. They show up uninvited, call too much, text too often, desperate to stay relevant. And what happens? They become invisible. You don't build power by being everywhere. You build power by being somewhere important. So here's what you need to do. Pull back. Stop being so available. Stop giving your time to people who don't value it. Let them wonder. Let them reach out. Let them realize what they're missing. Disappear to increase your worth. When you're scarce, you're valuable. When you're everywhere, you're nothing. This doesn't mean cut everyone off or become cold. It means protect your presence. Make it count. Show up intentionally, not desperately. Be the person people look forward to seeing, not the person they expect to always be there. The weak are always present. The powerful know when to vanish. Master this law and watch how quickly people's behavior toward you changes. Watch how they start treating you differently. Watch how your value rises simply because you stopped giving it away for free. Here's something nobody wants to admit. The one who chases loses every single time. You've seen it happen. Someone wants something badly. Attention, approval, a deal, a connection. So what do? They chase. They push. They pursue. And the more they chase, the further away it gets. Meanwhile, there's someone else sitting back doing nothing. And everything comes to them. Why? Because they understand a simple truth. Power is about control. And control means making others move toward you, not the other way around. When you chase, you hand over your power. The weak knock on every door. The powerful make others knock on theirs. Stop chasing people who don't chase you back. Stop pursuing things that require you to beg. Stop putting yourself in positions where you're the one doing all the work to get noticed. Flip the script. Build your value. Sharpen your skills. Create results that speak louder than words. Make yourself someone people want to connect with, learn from, work with, and then wait. Let them come. When people come to you, you control the terms. You set the pace. You decide who gets access and who doesn't. That's power. But when you chase, you lose all of that. You become just another person begging for chance. Position yourself as the prize. Not because you're better than everyone, but because you've built something worth seeking. The moment you stop chasing and start attracting, everything changes. Let's be brutally honest. If people don't notice you, you don't exist. You could be the smartest person in the room, the most skilled, the most prepared. But if nobody sees it, none of it matters. Attention is power. And in a world where everyone is fighting to be heard, being invisible is the same as being dead. Most people are afraid to stand out. They blend in. They stay quiet. They play it safe. And then they wonder why nobody remembers their name. Why nobody calls them when opportunities arise. Why they're always overlooked. Here's why. You can't be respected if you're not noticed. Geniuses understand this. They know that attention isn't vanity. It's survival. If you're not in people's minds, you're not in their plans. If you're not visible, you're not valuable. So, they do whatever it takes to be seen. They speak up. They take bold actions. They create moments people can't ignore. They don't wait for permission to be noticed. They demand it. Machiavelli once said men judge generally more by the eye than by the hand. For everyone can see, but few can feel. People remember what they see, not what they hear about later. They remember the bold move, the loud statement, the unforgettable moment. They forget the quiet ones who stayed in the background. Now, this doesn't mean be obnoxious. It doesn't mean scream for attention like a child. It means be strategic. Be intentional. Find ways to stand out that align with who you are and what you're building. Never blend in. Draw attention or disappear from history. Look at anyone who's ever accomplished anything significant. They weren't invisible. They weren't hiding. They made noise. They made waves. They made people talk. Because here's the truth. Power is attention. Invisibility is death. When you're noticed, doors open. People reach out. Opportunities find you. But when you're invisible, you're fighting uphill for scraps nobody else wanted. So, how do you court attention without looking desperate? You do something worth noticing. You create value so strong people can't ignore it. You make moves so bold they have to talk about it. You show up differently. You speak differently. You carry yourself differently. You don't ask for attention. You earn it by being undeniable. Stop hiding behind excuses. Stop waiting for the right time to step into the spotlight. Stop telling yourself you'll be noticed eventually if you just keep working quietly. That's not how the world works. The world rewards the visible, not the invisible. Be loud with your actions. Be memorable with your presence. Be someone people can't stop thinking about. Because at the end of the day, the people who get remembered are the people who refuse to be forgotten. Stand out or get left behind. It's that simple. Here's a hard pill to swallow. Nobody helps out of kindness, only interest. I know that sounds cold. I know it goes against everything you've been taught about people being good and caring and wanting to help. But look at your own life. Look at the times people help you really helped you. Was it because helping you gave them something in return? The truth is people act based on what benefits them, not you. And if you don't understand this, you'll waste your entire life begging for help that never comes. You'll appeal to people's hearts, their mercy, their sense of fairness, and you'll get nothing. But geniuses, they never make that mistake. They don't ask for favors. They offer benefits. They understand that the fastest way to get what you want is to make other people want to give it to you. Not out of pity, out of self-interest. Machiavelli once said, "Wise princes avoid conspirators by not giving anyone reason to harm them and by satisfying the people." When you need something from someone, don't talk about your problems. Don't explain how desperate you are. Don't ask them to help you because it's the right thing to do. Instead, show them what's in it for them. Frame your request around their goals, their needs, their desires. Make it so obvious that helping you benefits them that they'd be stupid not to do it. This is how deals get made. This is how alliances form. This is how people move mountains for each other. Not because they're generous, but because it's smart. Nobody helps without benefit. Accept that. Use that. Let's say you need someone's time, their knowledge, their resources. Don't beg. Don't guilt trip. Don't appeal to their sympathy. Show them how giving you what you need will help them get what they want. Will it save them time later? Will it make them look good? Will it open a door for them? Will it solve a problem they didn't even know they had? Find the angle. Always find the angle. Because here's what happens when you appeal to mercy. People might help once out of guilt, but they'll resent you for it. They'll avoid you next time. They'll see you as a taker. But when you appeal to self-interest, they help gladly. They see you as valuable. They want to stay connected because you make their life better, not harder. It's because helping you gave them something in return. The truth is people act based on what benefits them, not you. And if you don't understand this, you'll waste your entire life begging for help that never comes. You'll appeal to people's hearts, their mercy, their sense of fairness, and you'll get nothing. But geniuses, they never make that mistake. They don't ask for favors. They offer benefits. They understand that the fastest way to get what you want is to make other people want to give it to you. Not out of pity, out of self-interest. Machiavelli once said, "Wise princes avoid conspirators by not giving anyone reason to harm them and by satisfying the people." When you need something from someone, don't talk about your problems. Don't explain how desperate you are. Don't ask them to help you because it's the right thing to do. Instead, show them what's in it for them. Frame your request around their goals, their needs, their desires. Make it so obvious that helping you benefits them that they'd be stupid not to do it. This is how deals get made. This is how alliances form. This is how people move mountains for each other. Not because they're generous, but because it's smart. Nobody helps without benefit. Accept that. Use that. Let's say you need someone's time, their knowledge, their resources. Don't beg. Don't guilt trip. Don't appeal to their sympathy. Show them how giving you what you need will help them get what they want. Will it save them time later? Will it make them look good? Will it open a door for them? Will it solve a problem they didn't even know they had? Find the angle. Always find the angle. Because here's what happens when you appeal to mercy. People might help once out of guilt, but they'll resent you for it. They'll avoid you next time. They'll see you as a taker. But when you appeal to self-interest, they help gladly. They see you as valuable. They want to stay connected because you make their life better, not harder. Turn their desire into your weapon. Stop approaching people with your hand out. Start approaching them with value in your hand. The moment you shift from "please help me" to "here's how this benefits you," everything changes. People stop seeing you as needy and start seeing you as strategic. That's the difference between someone people avoid and someone people seek out. Give people a reason to help you that has nothing to do with pity. Give them a reason that makes them feel smart for saying yes. Master this, and you'll never struggle to get support again. Here's a question that separates the powerful from the powerless. Who needs you more than you need them? If the answer is nobody, you're in trouble. Power doesn't come from being independent. It comes from making others dependent on you. When people need you more than you need them, you control the relationship. You set the terms. You decide how things go. They can't ignore you. They can't replace you. They can't move forward without you. That's real power. But most people have it backwards. They make themselves dependent on others. They become replaceable, forgettable, disposable, and then they wonder why they have no leverage, no influence, no control over their own lives. Geniuses never let this happen. They build their lives in a way that makes them essential to the people around them. Machiavelli once said the best fortress is to be found in the love of the people. For although you may have fortresses, they will not save you if you are hated by the people. When people depend on you, they obey you. Not because they fear you, but because they need you. Think about it. Who has power in your life right now? It's the people you depend on. The ones who have something you need and can't easily get elsewhere. Now flip it. Who depends on you? Who can't function as smoothly without your skills, your knowledge, your presence, your contribution? If that list is short, you're vulnerable. Here's how you change that. Become indispensable. Develop skills others don't have. Build knowledge others need. Create value others can't replicate. Make yourself the key that unlocks doors nobody else can open. Independence is strength. Dependence gives control. This doesn't mean manipulate people or trap them. It means position yourself as essential, not optional. When you're essential, people protect you. They invest in you. They keep you close because losing you would cost them more than keeping you ever could. But when you're replaceable, you're just another name on a list. So stop being average at everything. Stop spreading yourself thin. Stop trying to be good enough at 100 things. Master something, own something, become the go-to person for something specific and valuable. Be essential, not replaceable. When people realize they need you, your position becomes unshakable. You're not fighting for a seat anymore. You own the seat. And here's the bonus. When you're essential, you don't have to convince anyone of your worth. They already know. They feel it every time they need something, and you're the only one who can deliver. This is how you build security in an insecure world. This is how you protect yourself from being discarded when times get tough. Dependency isn't weakness when you're the one being depended on. It's leverage. So ask yourself, what do you bring that nobody else can? What would people lose if you weren't around? If you don't have a good answer, start building one today. Make others need you more than you need them, and watch how quickly your power grows. Here's something you need to hear. Arguments expose weakness. Every time you argue, you reveal that you're trying to convince someone. And trying to convince someone means you don't have proof. You don't have results. You just have words. And words are cheap. Powerful people don't waste time arguing. They don't defend themselves. They don't try to convince skeptics. They don't engage in endless debates about who's right and who's wrong. They just win. And winning silences every argument that ever existed. Power doesn't need to convince. It shows. Think about the last time you argued with someone. Did you change their mind? Probably not. Because arguments aren't about truth. They're about ego. Two people fighting to be right. Neither one willing to back down. It's exhausting. It's pointless. And worst of all, it makes you look desperate. Machiavelli once said the promise given was a necessity of the past. The word broken is a necessity of the present. Actions speak. Arguments stall. When you argue, you're stuck defending your position. But when you act, you're proving it. Let your results silence opposition. Here's what geniuses do instead. They stop talking and start doing. They stop defending and start demonstrating. They let their wins do the talking while everyone else is still debating. Someone doubts you. Don't explain yourself. Show them. Someone questions your ability. Don't defend it. Prove it. Someone says you can't. Don't argue. Do it anyway, and let the results speak for themselves. Because here's the truth. People forget arguments, but they remember results. Nobody remembers who won the debate. They remember who won the game. Powerful people don't argue. They win. When you focus on action instead of argument, something shifts. You stop caring about who believes in you and start focusing on what you can build. You stop wasting energy on people who won't be convinced and start putting that energy into results that can't be denied. And when those results show up, the same people who doubted you will suddenly act like they supported you all along. That's how it works. So stop defending yourself. Stop explaining. Stop trying to make people understand before you've done anything worth understanding. Go build something undeniable. Go create something they can't ignore. Go achieve something that makes the argument irrelevant. Actions destroy doubt faster than words ever will. Let them talk. Let them question. Let them doubt. And while they're busy debating, you'll be busy winning. Every word reveals a piece of your mind. And the more of your mind you reveal, the weaker you become. Most people talk too much. They explain everything. They share every thought, every plan, every feeling. And in doing so, they hand over their power without even realizing it. Because the more you say, the more people know. And the more people know, the more they can predict you, manipulate you, use you. Silence, on the other hand, is a weapon. The less you speak, the more people imagine. When you're quiet, people fill in the blanks. They project onto you. They assume you know more than you do. They see depth where there might only be restraint. And that mystery that commands respect. Machiavelli once said, "Everyone sees what you appear to be. Few experience what you really are." Talking too much makes you seem nervous, desperate, like you're trying too hard to prove something. But saying less makes you seem confident, controlled, like you don't need to explain yourself because you already know your worth. Mystery commands respect. Here's what happens when you talk too much. You give people ammunition. You reveal your weaknesses. You expose your plans. You show your hand before the game is over. Smart people stay quiet. They listen more than they speak. They observe while others ramble. And when they do speak, it's calculated, intentional. Every word serves a purpose. Words reveal. Silence protects. Think about the people who command real respect. They're not the ones who never shut up. They're the ones who speak carefully, who choose their words, who know when to talk and when to stay silent. They don't over-explain. They don't defend every decision. They don't share every detail of their strategy. They keep people guessing, and that uncertainty keeps them powerful. So here's what you need to do. Talk less. Share less. Explain less. When someone asks you a question, give them the minimum they need to know. Not everything, just enough. When someone challenges you, don't feel obligated to defend yourself with a speech. A simple, calm response is more powerful than a desperate explanation. When you're planning something big, keep it to yourself. Don't announce it. Don't share every step. Just execute and let people see the results. The more you talk, the more predictable you become. The less you talk, the more powerful you appear. Silence isn't weakness. It's strategy. Master the art of saying less than necessary and watch how people start treating you differently. Watch how they start respecting your words more because you use them less. The moment people know what you're thinking, what you're planning, what you're going to do next, you've already lost. Because when people can predict you, they can prepare for you. They can block you. They can beat you before you even make your move. Never let others see your plan. Geniuses operate in shadows, not because they're sneaky, but because they're smart. They understand that revealing your intentions is like showing your cards in the middle of a poker game. You might feel honest. You might feel transparent, but you'll lose every single time. Machiavelli once said, "Never attempt to win by force what can be won by deception." The people who win aren't always the strongest or the fastest. They're the ones nobody saw coming. They move quietly. They plan in silence. They make their moves when everyone else is looking the other way. Confusion keeps you safe. Secrecy keeps you in control. Here's what happens when you reveal your intentions too early. People interfere. They sabotage. They copy your ideas. They warn others. They position themselves to block you. Not because they're evil, just because knowing your plan gives them an advantage. But when you keep your intentions hidden, you move freely. You act without resistance. You strike before anyone realizes what's happening. And by the time they figure it out, it's too late. You've already won. A hidden mind is an unbreakable weapon. This doesn't mean lie to everyone. It means protect your strategy. Keep your real goals to yourself. Share only what benefits you to share. When people ask what you're working on, be vague. When they ask about your plans, give them the surface version, never the full truth. Let them think they know. Let them assume they understand. But keep the real moves hidden until it's time to execute. Think about the biggest surprises in your life, the opportunities that came out of nowhere, the people who made moves nobody expected. They won because nobody saw them coming. Now think about the times you announced your plans too early. Did people support you? Or did they suddenly have opinions, doubts, and reasons why it wouldn't work? The more you share, the more resistance you create. So here's what you do. Plan in private, execute in public. Keep your intentions concealed until the moment they become reality. Don't give people time to react, to prepare, to interfere. Move silently. Strike precisely. Let your results shock them. This is how you protect yourself in a world where everyone is watching, waiting for you to slip, ready to take advantage the second you reveal too much. Conceal your intentions, and you become untouchable, unpredictable, dangerous in the best possible way. People can't stop what they can't see coming. Master this law, and no one will ever outsmart you again. So there they are, the 8 darkest laws geniuses use to outsmart everyone. Let's be real for a second. These laws aren't comfortable. They don't make you feel warm and fuzzy inside, but they work. Power is psychological, not physical. It's not about being the strongest or the loudest.